YouTube Nation and Dog Pound, welcome into today's episode of the SportsRoom TalkShow. I'm your host, Unger to the Max, and I'd like to welcome you, as I said, into today's episode. And before we get really into the meat and bones of everything, I'm going to be a little bit transparent with you right now, because before the season, I told you that my goal for this season was to do a video collaboration for every game on the Browns schedule. And up until through week 12, I had done that. Week 13, the Browns had their bye week. And then week 14 against the Ravens, I was all set to work with a Baltimore Ravens fan. And then I got hit with, let's just say, a certain virus that is causing a global pandemic. I'll say it like that. So I had to take the necessary steps to get over said virus. And as a result, I was out of action. Couldn't really do anything. So I was unable to make a video collaboration for the Week 14 Ravens game. And I was in a bit of the recovery stage, and I just didn't feel like I was fully there to do a video collaboration for the Week 15 game against the Raiders. And then for the Packers game last week, I was talking to someone, but things just fell apart. So, again, unfortunately, I was not able to do the video collaborations. I know you were probably expecting them. You were probably looking forward to them, as those video collaborations have become a big part of my channel and a big part of the content that I do here on Unger to the Max in the Sports Room. Which, by the way, if you have not subscribed to this channel and you are watching this video right now, what are you doing? Go click that subscribe button. As of right now, let's see. Let me make sure I have this number right. I'm at 433 subscribers. 433. That means I am only 67 subscribers away from 500. That's insane. When I first started this channel, it wasn't even a Cleveland Browns-based channel. Hell, it wasn't even a sports-based YouTube channel. It took me a while before I realized that what I really wanted to do was this of sports journalism, and whether that's writing articles for Fansided, or Cleveland Sports Talk, or doing what I'm doing now, which is a YouTube live stream on StreamYard, which, by the way, drop your comments in the live comment section below. I love to read people's comments. I highlight them on the show. If I think your comment is intriguing enough, I may even actually put the link to this live stream in the live chat so that you can come backstage and interact with me. How amazing is that? Hey, we got some guys in here already. What up, my dude, Zach Shafron? Hopefully we will have you on the show tomorrow for So What's the Catch. Normally, So What's the Catch is a show that I do with James, Brian, Kramer, Chirk, Berserk, and Zach out of the All Sports Cleveland studio at the Ohio Media School every Wednesday from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. But because of the global pandemic that is happening right now, we've had to change things. So we're probably going to be doing things virtually for the foreseeable future. So be on the lookout for those videos. We did them last week. But before I get into what my main topics of this video were, I want to address this. Yes, first of all, Boston Sports Report, thank you for being in the live stream. I appreciate it. But yes, rest in peace, John Madden. I was just downstairs folding laundry that I had taken out of the dryer when I saw the breaking news on the crawler, kind of like what I have here, for ESPN during the Liberty Bowl, that John Madden had passed away. And that's a tough one because although I didn't get to appreciate what he did as a football coach for the Raiders and all that, I did get to appreciate what he did as a broadcaster. You know, for example, he was on the call for that amazing Super Bowl between the Steelers and the Cardinals with Al Michaels. I believe that was, it was Super Bowl 43 in 2008. Yes, I categorize Super Bowl champions by the year the season started. So for me, whoever wins the Super Bowl this year, hopefully not Dallas, Tampa Bay, Baltimore, or Pittsburgh, and maybe not Kansas City. I'm on the fence about the Chiefs. But either way, whoever wins the Super Bowl, I'm going to categorize them as the 2021 champions, not the 2022 champions. Because the season started in 2021, and a majority of the season is happening in 2021. Weeks 1 through 16, call it. Because week 17 is going to happen in 2022. Week 18 is going to happen in 2022. And the playoffs will happen in 2022. But again, weeks 1 through 16 happened in 2021. That is why when I talk about Super Bowl champions, for example, when Denver won Super Bowl 50, I would put the Broncos in the 2015 championship class, not the 2016 championship class. But, so after that clarification, going back to John Madden, his calls were legendary. And sometimes I feel like we took that for granted just a little bit. Excuse me. And I don't think we should do that. And I don't just mean that with John Madden. I mean with other broadcasters like Stuart Scott, Craig Sager, guys like that. I feel like sometimes they were so good at their craft, whether it was Craig Sager and his sideline reports and his interactions with Greg Popovich, Greg Popovich might only say one word to him or maybe not even answer a question, or whether it was Craig Sager's interaction with Kevin Garnett where KG told him, "You burn that suit," or whether it was Stuart Scott's taglines like "cool as the other side of the pillow." Things like that. I feel like a little bit we take that for granted. And now that these three gentlemen and many other broadcasters who I don't remember off the top of my head, but all of these guys, and girls for that matter, have made some sort of contribution to the broadcasting industry. And so I don't want to take that for granted. I don't want it to be like, oh, this person's passed away. Okay. Let's see. Remember Super Bowl Patriots versus Rams 2001? John Madden was in that game. Okay. So there's another one. But my overall point is, rest in peace, John Madden. He will sorely be missed. I think Madden would be, let me rephrase, EA Sports would be stupid to not put John Madden on the cover of the upcoming Madden video game. Maybe the Madden curse is broken. Maybe it's not. I'm not sure. I'm on the fence about that. I do believe the Madden curse was a real thing, though. I don't think it was a fake storyline that somebody made up just to explain why a certain player was struggling. Madden curse was a very real thing. So rest in peace, John Madden. All right, now let's get into the meat and bones of this video. All right, let's do it. So I think the NFL dropped the ball this week. And here's why. Because we have got a fantastic matchup this weekend at Paul Brown Stadium. It is the Kansas City Chiefs, who are currently the number 1 seed in the AFC. I believe that, if I remember correctly, they have won 8 games in a row. I'll look it up on my trusty little computer device here. But the Chiefs have won 8 games in a row. Let me double check using the trusty ESPN app. Let's see. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. The Chiefs have won 8 games in a row. And they're 11-4 on the season. They're the number 1 seed in the AFC right now, which means that they would have the first round bye because of the new playoff format in the NFL, where only the number 1 seed gets a bye, whereas the 2 seed has to play the 7 seed, the 3 seed has to play the 6 seed, the 4 seed has to play the 5 seed, as standard tournament play would be. The only difference is, I guess in standard tournament play, number 1 would play number 8. But you get my overall point. Anyway, so on the other side, you have the Cincinnati Bengals. They are 9-6 on the season. Yep, 9-6. The Bengals are currently leading the AFC North. However, somehow, some way, the Cleveland Browns, who I'm representing behind me, somehow the Browns have a chance to win the AFC North. And here's how. If the Browns can go into Pittsburgh and beat the Steelers, shout out to my guys, Steel Twins and Cold Steel. I'll be doing a video collaboration over on Cold Steel's channel. I believe it's this Thursday to talk Steelers-Browns round 2. But if the Browns can beat the Steelers on Monday Night Football, the Chiefs beat the Bengals, and either the Rams beat the Ravens this week or the Steelers beat the Ravens next week, If all of that happens, the Browns could potentially win the AFC North by beating the Bengals in Week 18. So, I know that's a lot of dominoes that have to fall the Browns' way. I know. But the Browns still have a chance. It's mind-blowing. But anyway, so you have the 9-6 Cincinnati Bengals, who are currently the number 3 seed in the AFC, hosting Patrick Mahomes. Wait, let me rephrase that. You have Joe Burrow and the number 3 seed in the AFC, the Cincinnati Bengals. Wait, let me try that again. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, who I should have played in my fantasy football matchup last week. I would have blown out my opponent by a lot more. Joe Mixon, Uzama, can't forget about him, taking on Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, McCall Hardman, Byron Pringle. That sounds like a matchup where if I didn't have braces on, I would say, get the popcorn ready. I want to watch that. So I think the NFL completely dropped the ball because that game should have been flexed into Sunday Night Football. This is the second time this season that the NFL has completely screwed up when it comes to the Cincinnati Bengals and Sunday Night Football. Because when the Bengals hosted the Chargers earlier this season, I thought that game should have been flexed into Sunday Night Football because you had, on one side, you had Justin Herbert, Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler. And on the other side, you had Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon, Uzama. That sounded like a great matchup. And I think that matchup should have been flexed into Sunday Night Football. Not Broncos at Chiefs. I believe that those two games are the same week. Let me double check. Let me double check on that super quick. Yes, they were the same week. And the Chiefs game got flexed into Sunday Night Football. I share your video on my community post. Thanks, Boston Sports Report. Yes, so Chiefs-Broncos was the game flexed into Sunday Night Football. Chiefs ended up blowing out the Broncos 22-9. Now, the Chargers-Bengals game, the Chargers ended up winning 41-22. But I still would have I would have preferred that game to be in Sunday Night Football because, again, you had Justin Herbert against Joe Burrow. That sounds like easy offensive fireworks to me. And this week, you have, again, Patrick Mahomes against Joe Burrow and all the other weapons I mentioned. Again, you got T. Higgins, Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase, Travis Kelce, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, if he's healthy, Joe Mixon, and many, many others. And this could be a pivotal game, not just in deciding whether or not Kansas City ultimately gets the number 1 seed, but just in the AFC playoffs in general. Because if the Bengals win, they lock up the AFC North, and that Week 18 game, when they come here to Cleveland to play us, means nothing. But again, if they lose, the Browns beat the Steelers, and the Ravens lose against either the Rams this week or the Steelers next week, then the Browns are going to be playing the Bengals next week to win the freaking division. Come on. So, with all that on the line, why didn't the NFL flex Chiefs at Bengals into Sunday Night Football? I get it. They want Aaron Rodgers in the spotlight because he's freaking Aaron Rodgers. I get it. The Packers are fighting for the number one seed in the NFC. I get it. It's probably Aaron Rodgers' last ride with the Green Bay Packers. I would love it if he came here to Cleveland because Baker Mayfield is completely dropping the ball himself. But I'll get to that in a little bit. Because I think I personally have a little bit to do with the Cleveland Browns' struggles. But anyway, I get it. The Vikings are still in the thick of the NFC wildcard race. The game's at Lambeau, so you want to put the Packers in Lambeau in prime time. I get it. It's Aaron Rodgers. This is probably Aaron Rodgers' last ride with the Packers. I get all that. But that's intriguing. But that doesn't get me like, oh my God, this is going to be a great game. I'm expecting the Packers to absolutely destroy the Vikings. Sorry, Minnesota Vikings, man, 28. Your Vikings are doing well this season. And they did beat the Packers earlier this season, but that was in Minnesota. Minnesota has a domed stadium. Now you got to play in the frozen tundra in Lambeau against the Green Bay Packers. Good luck with that. But it just feels like a missed opportunity for the NFL. I would personally, as I've already expressed, I would much rather see Chiefs Bengals in prime time Sunday Night Football over the Vikings and the Green Bay Packers. So, that's point number one. Point number two. So, I've expressed this on many of my video collaborations this season, but I'll say it again. Which is, hold on, I'm just adjusting my screen brightness and volume a little bit. There we go. Okay. Excuse me. So as I was saying, in many of my video collaborations this season, I've talked about how superstitious of a Cleveland Browns fan I am, where leading up to that week's game, I'll watch games from the 2013 season and the 2014 season where the Browns won, and then I'll watch various other highlights of the Browns winning in order to send positive vibes to the Browns. But in the opposite direction, I intentionally watch games where not only the opposing team, but also the opposing city loses. For example, when we played the Baltimore Ravens on Sunday Night Football in Week 12, I watched the Sunday night game between the Sunday night baseball game between the Baltimore Orioles and the then Cleveland Indians, because they're now the Cleveland Guardians. But it was when the Indians, I think I'm fine calling them that, because that's what they were called at the time, were on a winning streak. I think it was their historic 20-game winning streak or whatever. So I'm like, okay, the Browns are at Baltimore on Sunday Night Football. Well, in this matchup, the Orioles were at Cleveland, but it was Sunday Night Baseball. And Cleveland, I guess I'll say it like that, won. So I'm like, okay, if I watch Cleveland beat Baltimore in baseball, maybe that'll translate to the football field. Of course, that didn't happen. And then there was the Pittsburgh game in Week 8 where I tried going all out with my superstitions. I watched games where the Browns won. I watched games where the Steelers lost. I watched a game where the Columbus Blue Jackets beat the Pittsburgh Penguins. I watched highlights of when the Browns went into Pittsburgh and beat the Steelers in the AFC wildcard last year. I wore my superstitious outfit. I did my rendition of Know Your Enemy by Green Day, which goes like this. Do you know your enemy? Do you know your enemy? Do you know your enemy? Away, away, Pittsburgh. Do you know your enemy? Do you know your enemy? Do you know your enemy? Away, away, the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, but I changed that depending on the opponent. Although I don't use that song for every game. The only games I've used it for are the Kansas City game. I think I used it for the Chicago game. I don't think I used it for the Minnesota game. The Patriots game I used it for. As I said, I used it for the Week 8 Steelers game. Yeah, I liked Boston. Wait, what? Boston Sports Report, I don't know what you mean by this. But actually for the Patriots game, I just did Boston because that was the mini 3-game series between the cities of Boston and Cleveland, which unfortunately Boston won 2-1 thanks to the Celtics win on Monday, which I was at that game. But after the Browns lost that Week 12 game against the Ravens, when I tried using a lot of my superstitions, I don't think I used all of them. But even still, I decided that I was going to go in the opposite direction and not use any of my superstitions. And for Week 13, I didn't have to because it was our bye week. And in Week 14, we're playing the Ravens again. But that was also the week I had a certain virus that's going around. So I was stuck in quarantine. But still, I could have done my superstitions. But I said, nope, I'm not going to do my superstitions. And guess what? We ended up winning that game, albeit a very close game, 24-22. And then in Week 15, I didn't do my superstitions, and we lost 16-14. And then last week, we're playing the Green Bay Packers, and I didn't do any of my superstitions again, and we lost. So I'm starting to wonder, maybe I'm responsible for the Browns losing these last 2 games against the Packers and the Raiders. Maybe I should have done my superstitions because perhaps my superstition, I've been using very minimal superstitions for the Cavs, but the superstition that I have been using has been working for the Cavs. They've won. They're one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference, and I'll get into them a little bit later in the show. But I'm just wondering if this week against the Steelers, with it being such a big game, should I try using my superstitions? Should I try going all out? Should I, watch games where the Browns win and the Steelers lose, which would mean purchasing the Week 4 UK game between the Steelers and Vikings from 2013, and then purchasing the NFL Game Day Final show from iTunes, because Week 4 of 2013, the Browns beat the Bengals, but the Steelers lost to the Vikings. So I would want both of those. They're $3 each from iTunes. I'm trying to convince my dad to let me purchase those before Monday. because I think I am going to try at least some of my superstitions. I don't know about all of them because, again, the last time I tried going all out with my superstitions against Pittsburgh, we lost 15-10. Now, I know it sounds a little bit stupid to say that my superstitions caused the Browns or the Cavs or these guys, the Monsters, the AHL affiliate of the Columbus Blue Jackets. It's probably stupid of me to say, oh, my superstitions really had an effect on the game. And whether the Browns, Monsters, Guardians, Cavs won or lost. But it's just the way I think. It's kind of ingrained in my system now. I can't really get it out of me, if you know what I mean. And with these guys, the Monsters, I've been to 3 or 4 home games so far this season. Let me double check on that. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. I've been to 3 Monsters home games so far this season, and the Monsters are 0-3. They've lost all 3 games. So I'm starting to wonder if I'm a bad omen for the Monsters, because at the last game I was at for these guys, while I was in line getting a burger, the Monsters actually scored 2 goals and tied the game up. And then I get back to my seat, and what happens? The Milwaukee Admirals score, and they take the lead, and they would go on to win. So again, maybe I'm a bad omen for them. But again, this whole thing is probably sounding stupid, but again, it's very ingrained in my mind, so I'm just going to roll with it just because. So, again, if the Browns can somehow beat the Steelers, the Bengals lose to the Chiefs, and the Ravens lose to the Rams or the Steelers next week, then the Browns could somehow win the division. Yet they sit here at 7-8, and that Green Bay game was incredibly frustrating for a couple reasons. Number 1, Baker Mayfield threw 4 interceptions. Number 2, Baker Mayfield failed once again to lead the Browns on a game-winning drive in the 2-minute drill. We've seen this story before. Week 1 against Kansas City. I think it was week 4 or week 5 against the Chargers. Week 8 against the Steelers. And countless other examples where Baker Mayfield had the opportunity to change the narrative about himself and show that he can lead the Browns on a game-winning drive, and he can lead a team to victory. But once again, he failed. And on top of that, like I said, he threw 4 interceptions. 4 of them. And here's the even more frustrating part, is that on that final drive, when we were in position to win, we didn't run the ball 1 time. Not once. We did not run it. I just wanted to turn on my lava lamps. But we were getting decent chunks of yards throughout the game when we ran the ball with Nick Chubb. I think I read a stat somewhere that we were getting at least 8 yards per carry. The Packers were vulnerable when it came to the running the football. So why did you take the ball out of your best player's hands in the most important drive of the game, maybe even your season, and put it in your least dependable player's hands? I'm sorry, Baker Mayfield is the least dependable player on this team. Because I want you to think about something. After we went 11-5 last year, where we clinched a wild card spot, then we went into Pittsburgh, where we had lost 17 consecutive games, and we came away with a resounding victory. The final score dictates it was close. It wasn't. And then we went into Kansas City and pushed the Chiefs right to their absolute limit. Although many fans and media members would argue that if Patrick Mahomes doesn't get injured, then the Chiefs would have blown us out by 20 or something like that. But that's not how the game went, and we only ended up losing by 5. So as a result, this season, fans and media members were putting high expectations on us, such as winning the AFC North, getting back to the AFC divisional round. Some people were even saying the Browns need to get to the AFC Championship game. But once again, the Browns did meet an expectation. You know what that expectation is? Not meeting expectations. The Browns consistently do that. When you put expectations on this team, what do? Boo! They don't meet them. So they're good at meeting that expectation of not meeting expectations. Remember 2019? We hired Freddie Kitchens as our head coach. We trade for Odell Beckham Jr. We make all these changes. We're put on 4 or 5 primetime games. And we got expectations heaped dumped on us. People were saying, the Browns are going to win the AFC North. Some people were even crazy enough to say, the Browns are going to go to the Super Bowl. And you had various expectations in between. And what happens? Browns end up going 6-10. They go 0-4 against the NFC West. I believe they went 3-1 against the AFC East that year. 3-1. No, 2-2 in primetime games. Yep, 2-2. And they went 0-2 against teams who finished in the same place in the standings as they did in the other 2 AFC divisions, which was Tennessee and Denver. So they ended up going 6-10, completely missed the playoffs, and failed expectations. There's countless other seasons where you could say, the Browns failed to meet expectations then too. That's what they're good at, is failing to meet expectations. So, if I had to say right now, the Browns are not going to go into Pittsburgh and beat the Steelers. Yes, I know the Steelers just got absolutely crushed by the Kansas City Chiefs. I know. But guess what? Baker Mayfield is not Patrick Mahomes. We don't have a Tyreek Hill on our roster. We don't have some of the other speedsters that Kansas City has at wide receiver. Now, I will say this. Kansas City was running the ball well before Clyde Edwards-Helaire got injured. So we may be able to use that to our advantage. But still, am I confident about the Browns going into Pittsburgh and beating the Steelers on Monday Night Football? Absolutely not. I would love it if they proved me wrong. Trust me, I would love it. I would love it if that Week 18 game between the Browns and Bengals here in Cleveland was, for all the marbles in the division. And maybe it could be it'll get flexed into Sunday Night Football, where the winner goes to the playoffs as the division champion and the loser goes home. But again, we need the Browns to beat the Steelers, the Chiefs have to beat the Bengals, and the Ravens have to either lose to the Rams or the Steelers. That's a lot that needs to happen, and it seems very unlikely. So I'm wondering, since it feels like the Browns season is basically over, unless I guess I can't say Christmas miracle since Christmas is over. I guess it would be a New Year's miracle. Unless a New Year's miracle happens and where all of those dominoes fall in the Browns' direction, I'm thinking about changing this background and making it Cleveland Cavaliers themed or just NBA themed in general. So what are your thoughts on that? Should I wait? Should I change this background now to Cavaliers/NBA, or should I wait till the Browns season is officially over and then change it? Write your answer in the live comments, or if you're watching this after the live stream has gone up, put your answer in the comment section below. I would love to hear your thoughts on that. I'm actually going to put the link to come backstage in the live chat. So for those of you watching, all you have to do is click that link. It will take you backstage, and I will let you on the show. But in the meantime, while maybe somebody comes on the show, maybe somebody doesn't, we'll see. But if somebody does, what are your thoughts on what I've said so far? Do you agree? Do you disagree? You think leaving at the Browns. So you're saying leave it as the Browns until the regular season is over? Or are you saying get rid of it now and change it to the Cavs NBA? I need a little clarification on that Boston Sports Report. So speaking of the Cavs, though, they are taking on the New Orleans Pelicans. Actually, that game is happening right now. I will give you a little bit of a score update right now. Let's see. New Orleans has been a bit of a tough. Awesomeness Sports.
What's up?
Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. What you got?
Well, I got the Wizards watching right now versus the Miami Heat. It looks like the Wizards are losing that game. I mean, it depends.
Okay. So what are your thoughts on what I've said throughout the video so far? Do you agree for the most part? Do you disagree? What are your thoughts?
Well, I agree with what you're saying, so
all right.
100%.
So, and then here's my other question. Do you think that I should leave this background as Cleveland Browns until the end of the season? Or should I just say, nope, the Browns season is over now, and change it to Cavaliers NBA theme?
No, you should keep that on until the off season. That's all I gotta say.
All right. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And I'm assuming, by the looks of it, you look to be a Washington football team fan. Is that correct?
Hell yeah.
So you probably came over, subscribed to my channel, thanks to the video collaboration that I did last season with BG Fan All Day. Is that?
Yeah.
That's what I figured. First of all, welcome to the show. I think, and thanks for subscribing. But I'm sure you were not happy about what happened to your football team on Sunday night. You don't even want to talk about that game.
No, I'm still mad about that game, man. I'm not gonna lie. I'm still really big, man.
Yeah. Yeah, by once it got to halftime, I was watching, I'm like, yeah, why am I still watching this? There was nothing else on that night, so I'm just like, okay, I'll continue to watch it. But it wasn't, I'm sure you felt the same way, but even as an outside fan, because I'm not a Cowboys fan, I'm not a Washington fan, I'm a Browns fan, obviously. But for me, it wasn't an enjoyable game to watch. I don't like watching blowouts. I like watching games that are nip and tuck right down to the wire, like, oh my God, what's going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, well, that's no fun.
Yeah, that was not fun. I sat there, I was like, dang, 56-14. That was not even a good score, bro. Boston
Sports Report says Washington needs to rebuild in the QB, in my opinion. You agree with him?
Yeah. I've been saying that because I love Taylor Heineke, don't get me wrong. But dude, it's just not working. I'm telling you right now, it's not working with this guy. I mean, I like him, don't get me wrong, but he has to really do well. The good Taylor Heineke that we know with the 4 winning streak. I want to see that. I don't want to see the guy that fails all the time. But then again, he has to learn his lesson from not doing that again. But just depends on what it is, bro. Like I'm trying not to blame him at all, but it's like, bro, it's hard.
I mean, in Taylor Heineke's defense, he did play well for you guys in the NFC wildcard game against Tampa Bay last year.
Yeah, I know.
But last year might have been a bit of an anomaly all around because of COVID and all those shenanigans. But overall, you don't like what you've seen from Heineke?
I mean, some of the things I liked about him was him trying to run the ball. I loved him running the ball. Like, if he had under pressure, he had to run the ball. I love seeing him do that. Like, if he felt like there was something wrong and no players were open, all he had to do was run.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I liked about him overall, to be honest, and him trying to throw the ball. But it's like, right now it's just need to find a quarterback. It is hard to find a quarterback because at this point in the draft, I don't know if there's any good quarterback in the draft.
Yeah, I mean, as a Browns fan, I'm in the same position because Baker Mayfield has not been good for us. Baker is consistently inconsistent. Where, like I was saying earlier, there have been so many times where we have asked Baker, okay, Baker, you are in position to go win this game in the final 2 minutes. Go out, do it, prove you deserve a contract extension. He has won exactly 0 of those games. 0. So I feel like the Browns are in the same position as the Washington football team in that aspect.
Yup. All those injuries and COVID. Chase Young got injured, made me sad. Felt so bad that he torn his ACL. Thanks a lot to, I'm not gonna say, the Tampa Bay, to the Buccaneers, because they pushed him, and so that was uncalled for. First of all, like, why are you gonna push Chase Young and let him fall on his knee? So,
yeah,
I'm just hoping he gets better by next year.
Yep. Boston Sports Report says this year Washington got injuries in the defense. And then he says last year Washington's defense was better. I think that's basically what you were saying.
Yeah.
And he says the Eagles play Washington in week 17.
Which is literally next Sunday, and I'm just worried like a dog, but I'm also hoping they can win that game because I always pick my team to win. Because I don't care. I'm not trying to pick the Eagles because at this point, why am I going to pick the Eagles to win that game? Just because that we have Jalen Hurts, we have everybody else, but I'm sorry, I just can't.
No, you can't do it.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, I can, but it's just like I can't really say how the Eagles are. Some Eagles fans, I say, "Oh, we have Jalen Hurts, we have Jalen Reagor, we have let's call it Devontae Smith," and it's like, yeah, congratulations, you have somebody. But look, man, next year, ooh, I don't even care. Next year will be good. Believe me. During this offseason, I hope Washington finds a quarterback and just hopefully finds some offensive lineman because really, it's just with Brandon Sheriff. I don't like him, bro. No offense. I mean, he got the franchise tag, but it's like, bro, he has to go. That's all I gotta say. And then Deron Payne, and Jonathan Allen were fighting.
I wasn't gonna bring that up because I figured you didn't want to talk about that, but since you just did, do you think that's a big issue, or do you think it's a non-issue? Do you think it's just like, yeah, whatever, it happened?
Yeah, it's like it happened. Like there's no point in just saying there saying, but it's not fair. Why are you blaming my son? Like even the father, he posted on Instagram saying that why are you blaming my son? My son didn't do nothing. I'm like, first of all, I never blamed your son. Like Jonathan Allen probably was just like mad because he wanted to win the game, and did that happen? No. So I don't blame Jonathan Allen. I don't blame Deron Payne. I really don't blame him. It's not his fault. It's not the defense. We just need to just get back together. That's all. During the next game and move on. That's it. If you're gonna win the next game or versus the Giants, to the draft, bro. That's all I gotta say.
I got you, and I understand that. But here's my thing. Why are you punching your teammate? Like, if you're upset about the game, and rightfully you should be, because you're getting I'll just say it outright, you're getting your ass kicked.
Mm-hmm.
Why not take out the frustration on the Cowboys? I'm not saying like Jonathan Allen should have thrown the punch at one of the Cowboys players. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is like, maybe like get up in the grill of one of the Cowboys offensive linemen or something. Do you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. He shouldn't have did that, but I guess he was just mad because because they wanted to win, and it happens. Like I said, it happens in football. A lot of players that are like they can't win. They want that. They want to just be like, you know what? I just can't take it anymore, and they just snap like that. So sometimes I understand. I understand what you're saying because Jonathan Allen should never hit Allen. I mean, hit Payne. Should never did that.
Right.
So or had that. Like he shouldn't have did that. All I know he shouldn't done is run fast and speed towards him. I'm not trying to blame Ron Rivera, but he shouldn't go into the middle of it and say, "Hey, you know what? Guys, calm down, calm down." But like I said, we're in the middle of the game, so couldn't do anything unless he couldn't done something. Say, hey, everybody, stop. That's what the players. What's what the players try to get up and say, "Hey, guys, calm down." Calm down.
Gotcha. By the way, right, on a separate note, it is 49-34. The Cavaliers are currently leading the Pelicans in New Orleans. I'll give you a score update for your Washington Wizards, who we actually play. The Cavs and Wizards actually play each other the day before New Year's Eve in Washington, so that should be a fun game.
Oh, hell yeah.
Right now, the Miami leads the Wizards 65-51 at halftime.
Yeah, I know. It's just Wizards lost again.
Yeah.
For the Sixers, so I can't really say anything but to say, damn.
Yeah. Yeah, right now the Cavs and Wizards are tied at 1 game apiece. So I don't remember if it's a 3-game season series between the Cavs and Wizards this year or if it's a 4-game series. But if it's a 3-game series, then Thursday's game is going to be the rubber match.
True.
Actually, let me look that up on the Cavs schedule right now.
Yeah.
So Washington there. Nope, it's a 4-game season series between the Cavs and Wizards because we play each other in Cleveland on Saturday, February 26th.
Oh, damn.
Yep.
Okay. That's good.
Yep. So, I stand corrected.
Yes, okay. I mean, shoot, we all make mistakes like that. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Yeah. So, thanks for joining the show. Appreciate it.
Welcome.
Yep. If you want to stick around on here, you can, or if you want to go back to being in the chat, it's up to you.
Okay, I got you, man. If I want to be here, I'm fine.
Yeah. So speaking of the Cavs, I'm gonna continue, actually. So, the Cavs have I would say the Cavaliers have been the biggest surprise of the season. Because if you had told me that on, what day is it? Just on Tuesday, December 28th, 2021, the Cleveland Cavaliers would be 20-13 on the season, and they would be sitting in 5th place in the Eastern Conference behind the Brooklyn Nets, Chicago Bulls, Milwaukee Bucks, the defending NBA champions, and the Miami Heat, I would say you're crazy. But guess what? That's exactly where we are. We are 20-13. Unless something changes, we are about to go to 21-13. But I don't want to jinx it, which I have jinxed games before. Yes, I believe in those types of things. But yes, Boston Sports Report, I know you guys won the season series 2-1 between the Cavaliers and Celtics. I know. And Boston ultimately won the overall series 3-1. I know. But still, right now, your Celtics are 16-18. You are 8 games behind the Nets in the conference standings, and you're in 9th place, which means you would be part of the play-in tournament. My Cleveland Cavaliers, if the playoffs started today, we would be playing the Miami Heat in the actual playoffs. Now, I've heard people say, the Cavaliers should, at the trade deadline, we know they're doing well, but they should still trade Ricky Rubio, and they should trade Kevin Love, and they should do all this other stuff. No. If you're doing this well, go for the damn playoffs. Because think about how much experience that would get this team. I'm not saying the Cavs would win a playoff series, but if we make the playoffs, is there going to be any team saying, oh yeah, we'll volunteer to play the Cavs? I don't think so. Think about this. Okay, the first time we played the Milwaukee Bucks was on the second night of a back-to-back after a really difficult let's see. Who's this? Walltown Beast. Best 88. Man, look, Mayfield is terrible. Y'all will be better running the Wildcat every play. Oh, good Lord. I guess. What, with Nick Chubb as quarterback? Who? OBJ? Oh, wait, never mind. OBJ's with the Rams because he was totally the problem. Yep, Baker Mayfield has been so much better since we got rid of Odell Beckham Jr. Get out of here with that bullshit. No, Odell was not the problem. Sure, Baker was not throwing the ball to him enough. And sure, most of Baker's most of Baker's passes that went to Odell were completely off target. But that's Odell's fault, right? Clearly, that's Odell's fault. Bullshit. No, it was not an Odell problem. This was a Baker Mayfield problem. And Walltown Best 88, you said it perfectly. Baker Mayfield is not good. He just isn't. It's the truth. I mean, yeah, again, we went 11-5 last season, but was that really because of Baker Mayfield, or was that because of our running game and at the time how well our defense was playing? What the hell happened to our defense this year? I would love to know. Because there are some games where I think Joe Wood's head is so far up his asshole he can't even see, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. But going back to the Cleveland Cavaliers, because that's what I was talking about. Again, if you had told me before the season that at the end of December, the Cleveland Cavaliers would be 20-13, in 5th place in the Eastern Conference, in position to make the playoffs, I would have said, get out of here with that bullshit. Get out of here with that garbage. Go sit with the crazy people, because that's what you are. You're crazy. I mean, I'm a diehard Cleveland Cavaliers fan. And I wasn't even saying, oh yeah, this Cavs team is good enough to make the playoffs. Even with all of their offseason moves, whether it was trading for Lauri Markkanen, drafting Evan Mobley, signing Ricky Rubio, and the various other moves that we made. I didn't go out and say, yep, this team's a playoff team. I said, okay, we'll probably move up the Eastern Conference a little bit, but we're probably still going to be a lottery team. I didn't even think we were going to make the play-in tournament. I mean, I feel like I was going out on a limb a little bit by saying, yeah, the Cavs are going to win 30 games. And, I didn't get a ton of flack for it. People weren't giving me shit left and right, which I'm a little bit surprised about, but whatever. And now look at us. We're 20-13. If we win tonight, we're 21-13. And once I saw the Cavs schedule for this season, December stood out like a sore thumb. I'll read the Cavs December schedule to you. Actually, let me see if I can do this. I'm going to see if I can pull up the Cavaliers schedule. Give me a sec. Let's see. Printable version. All right. Now, let me share my screen. Chrome tab. Okay. So here's the Cavaliers schedule. All right. look at December. November concludes with the start of a tough 3-game road trip at Dallas. Then you had to play at Miami, where before that game, the Cavaliers had lost 20 consecutive games. At Washington, the Wizards are usually a tough team. Then you had to play Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, and a very good Utah Jazz team at home. And then the very next night, you have to play Giannis, Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, and the defending NBA champions at home, or in Milwaukee, and then come home to play the Chicago Bulls. Bulls are usually a very tough team. And then you have another back-to-back at Minnesota, home against Sacramento. And then Miami, Houston, Milwaukee, and we were supposed to play Atlanta on the second night of a back-to-back. But that game got postponed because of the global pandemic. And then at Boston, Toronto, New Orleans, which I couldn't tell you the last time we won a game at New Orleans, at Washington, and then home to play Atlanta. That's not an easy month. But then, if you look at January doesn't get any easier. Okay? Because in January, you play Indiana for the first time, home against Memphis, and then you start a grueling road trip at Portland, at Golden State, home at Sacramento the very next night, at Utah, and then at San Antonio, at Oklahoma City. And then you come home for one game where you have to play Kevin Durant, James Harden, maybe Kyrie Irving, considering his shenanigans and all that. I'm not going to get into that. And then at Chicago, home against Oklahoma City, New York, Milwaukee, Detroit, New Orleans. That's not easy. And then February's not too bad. It's a little bit difficult, but not too bad. Not as difficult as December or January. In December, you got Houston, Charlotte, Indiana, San Antonio, Indiana, Philadelphia. That's not fun that the first time we have to play Philadelphia is on the second night of a back-to-back. Atlanta, and then we get the All-Star game here in Cleveland. I want to go to something All-Star game related while it's here. And then at Detroit, Washington, Minnesota. Not too bad. March is Charlotte, at Philly, Toronto, at Indiana, at Miami, at Chicago. That's going to be a really difficult road back-to-back. And then we get a nice homestand with some difficult teams, though. Because you got the Clippers, you got the 76ers. I would actually love to go to that game against the 76ers on March 16th. Nuggets, Pistons, and then LeBron comes to town. Raptors, and then Bulls, Magic, and then you close out the month with the Mavericks. And then with April, you got Knicks, 76ers, Magic, Nets, Bucks. So not too bad of a schedule. A little bit challenging, but overall not too bad. January is going to be our toughest month, I think, for the remainder of the schedule. I think the Cavaliers have already proven their legitimacy by doing so, by passing what I called their December test. But if they really want to prove their doubters wrong, go out and play well in January. That's what they're going to have to do. They've already proven their legitimacy to me. And I would argue I'm their biggest fan. I wish I was a Cleveland Cavaliers season ticket holder, but eventually I'll get there. I'm just not at the moment. But again, I will get there. But still, Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse is practically my second home. I go to a fair amount of their games. I go to a fair amount of Cavaliers games each season. I was actually there this afternoon for a Harlem Globetrotters game. I don't know if you would call it a Globetrotters game or if you would call it a show. Whatever. But I was there this afternoon, so that was fun. So that's enough of the NBA stuff. So I've covered football, the football topics that I wanted to discuss, and I've covered the NBA. Actually, no, I haven't covered all the Cavaliers stuff that I want to talk about. Because I've seen some stuff that the Cavaliers are one of the teams heavily interested in Ben Simmons. No, 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 no. Do not trade for Ben Simmons. You hear me, Cavaliers? Do you hear me? Do not trade for Ben Simmons. No. No, no, no. Have I said it enough? Do you got it through your minds? Do not trade for Ben Simmons. Completely bad fit. Philadelphia would want a boatload for him anyway. You'd probably have to give up Okoro, Kevin Love, multiple first-round draft picks. No, don't do it. I think Ben Simmons would be a horrible fit in the backcourt with Darius Garland. Ben Simmons does not want to shoot the ball. So what else is he good for? I think he's just flat out afraid to shoot it. No, do not trade for Ben Simmons. Now, if Damian Lillard is legitimately available, I would be interested in that. I think him and Garland in the backcourt would be amazing. But here's my only thing with Dame Lillard is he's a bit on the smaller side when it comes to guards. Now, he's been all right for the most part in his career thus far. I'll give him that. But even still, going out and trading for Dame scares me a little bit. So right now, I would say if we can somehow pull off a trade for Damian Lillard, I would do it, but I'm hesitant about it. Honestly, I don't think we need a superstar like that. I don't. I think we're on the verge of developing a superstar or two right now with JB Bickerstaff, with Evan Mobley and Darius Garland. I love that pairing. Do not break it up this offseason. If anything, get rid of Colin Sexton, because we have no offense to Colin Sexton because he got injured, and I hope he fully recovers. But even still, once Sexton went down and Garland moved into the starting point guard and Sexton was completely off the floor, you've seen the offense has worked beautifully. There's ball movement. People are cutting. Guys are moving. Guys are setting pick and rolls for each other. Guys are, trying to get the ball. It felt like when Colin Sexton was in there, the offense was just stagnant. It felt like people were just standing there like, okay, I'm just going to stand here. I'm not going to move. I'm not going to go set a pick and roll. I'm not going to cut to the basket or anything. It just felt like, okay, yeah, we're just going to stand here, not do anything. And it was so frustrating. So yeah, as much as I like Colin Sexton, but I don't think he fits here in Cleveland. So if we were to trade him in the offseason, I would be all right with that. If there's anybody I would like the Cavs to trade for, there's two guys. Number one would be Karis LeVert from the Indiana Pacers, and number two would be Buddy Hield from Sacramento. I think Buddy Hield would be a great fit for the Cavaliers. So that's my... Oh, actually, let me address the Los Angeles Lakers. They are a total disappointment. Total flop. Complete and utter disaster. Now, I'm hearing a rumor going around that part of the reason LeBron is not playing well is because, he's going to leave the Lakers at the end of this season and come back to us. And honestly, would I take LeBron back? Yes. But do I really want him? No. No, I don't. Because to tie this back into the Cavaliers, we are a young, up-and-coming team that wants to play up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. We don't want to go at a snail's pace. LeBron's going to be entering his 20th year. He's going to want to play at a slow pace, slow the ball down, playing the half court. I just don't think that would work. So, again, I would take him back, yet. Would I take LeBron back? Yes. Yes, I would. Because, he won us a championship, and we came back from a 3-1 deficit against the Golden State Warriors, who I will also address in a minute. So I guess the basketball section continues. But do I necessarily want LeBron? No. Makes sense? Would I take him back? Yes. Do I want him? No. But focusing on the Lakers, as soon as they made that trade for Russell Westbrook, I knew it was going to fail. I knew it right away. Because, like I said, LeBron right now is in his 19th season. He doesn't want to play at breakneck speed, going up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. He wants to just bring the ball up slowly, set up the offense, all that. Russell Westbrook is not like that. He wants to go boom, 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 boom. Go, 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 go. And so it makes for this like oil and water type of scenario, if you will. And it's just not good. At halftime, the Cavaliers lead the Pelicans by 10, 58-48. So yeah. Okay. Wanted to see if there was anything interesting happening on my text messages or whatnot, and there wasn't. So, what was I just going to say? I forget. Oh, yeah, now I remember. The Lakers, I don't even know if they're going to make the playoffs. I have no idea right now. The Lakers, if the playoffs started today, which I kind of wish they did, because again, the Cavaliers would be a top 5 seed. But they don't. They don't start till late April. But if the playoffs started today, the Lakers would be in the play-in tournament. They're a number 9 seed. Right now, the Western Conference looks like this. Golden State is number 1. Phoenix is number 2 at a game back. Utah is number 3. They are 3 games back. Memphis is 4. They are 7 games back. I think the Grizzlies have been the biggest surprise in the Western Conference. The Clippers are number 5. They are 10.5 games back. I think they are going to drop in the standings, being that they don't have Kawhi Leonard right now, and I believe they just lost Paul George. Number 6 is the Denver Nuggets. Number 7 is the Dallas Mavericks. Number 8, another surprising team, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Number 9, the Los Angeles Lakers, as I said. And number 10 are the San Antonio Spurs. And just outside of the play-in tournament, you have the Portland Trail Blazers and then the Sacramento Kings. And then Oklahoma City, New Orleans, and Houston are all way off in the distance. Are the Rockets? No, the Rockets are not the worst team in the NBA. The worst team in the NBA is the Detroit Pistons. They have a grand total of 5 wins. Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 wins. Pistons are 5-27. The Orlando Magic are 7-27. After that, you have the Houston Rockets at 10-24. Then you have the New Orleans Pelicans at 12-22. Then you have the Oklahoma City Thunder at 12-20. Then you have the Sacramento Kings at 13-21. Then you've got the Portland Trail Blazers at 13-20. Then you've got the Indiana Pacers at 14-20. And then the San Antonio Spurs at 14-19. I'm not going to go through all the rest of the teams and give you all that. But that's kind of the rear end of the NBA, if you will. I apologize to any teams fans, and if I just have made any of those teams fans upset. But yeah, the Lakers, they're not good. They're not. Trying to put all these veterans together, I get it, but it's not working. It's not. I'm actually upset at the Lakers and the Milwaukee Bucks. And the reason is because I like to collect championship films. I think they're really cool to watch because you get to kind of join the team in how they got to be a champion. You get to watch the journey, if you will. I've got the Chicago Cubs 2016 World Series Championship film. I've got the Patriots. I don't have the Patriots actual Super Bowl 53 championship film. I have a thing called New England Patriots 3 Games to Glory number 6 for their 6th Super Bowl championship when they beat the Rams. I've got the St. Louis Blues 2019 Stanley Cup championship film. I've got the Tampa Bay Lightning 2020 Stanley Cup championship film. And I just recently got the 2019 NBA championship film for the Toronto Raptors. I really wanted the Los Angeles Lakers championship film for 2020. Number 1, and most importantly, because Kobe Bryant passed away. May he rest in peace. I still can't believe Kobe is dead. I'm going to get freaking emotional talking about it, so I'm going to try and move on as quickly as I can. Not because I want to forget about Kobe. Absolutely not. I just don't want to get emotional about it. Because I can feel it. The other reasons I want the Lakers championship film is because of everything with COVID and the league, the season being paused, and everything with the Minnesota trials. George, what was his name? Give me a sec. George Floyd. There it is. So everything that happened with George Floyd and all the others who were involved with police brutality and all the Black Lives Matter movement that happened. I'm not saying I support those. I'm not saying I don't support those. I just thought that whole thing was fascinating to watch. That's all I'm going to say. Because this is not a political YouTube channel. I don't want to dive into, I support this cause, but I don't support this cause. No, I don't want to do that. That's not what this channel is about. If you want to find other channels like that, that's fine. But that's not what you're going to get on this YouTube channel. Which, by the way, if you're still watching, which I hope you are, first of all, congratulations for making it to this point in the video. Hopefully you're enjoying what you're seeing and what you're hearing. Which, if you are, punch that like button like a UFC fighter and punch that subscribe button. Right now, I am 67 subscribers away from 500. That's 500. 500. That's amazing. 500 subscribers is a number. When I started this channel, I didn't even think I was going to reach 100. So to be 67 subscribers away from 500 is mind-blowing. Just absolutely mind-blowing. It is still halftime between the Cavaliers and Pelicans. It is still so that means it is still 58-48. No, I'm actually now at 434 subscribers, which means I am 66 subscribers away. So maybe I'm going to start like a little countdown because, again, 66 subscribers away from 500? Are you kidding me? What? 66 is not that big of a number. You guys can do this. Help get me to 500. We can do this. Go share this channel with your friends, with your family. Go share this channel with everyone you can. I want to get to 500. And then I want to get to 600. And then 700, 800, 900, 1,000, and so on and so forth. I love this channel. That's why I make videos. Because I want to express my opinion about the topics that I've expressed my opinion about so far. And I've got so many more opinions that I'm going to continue to share in this video and so many more videos in the future. And I'm going to keep trying to reach that goal of doing a video collaboration for every game on the Browns schedule. I'm going to keep pushing it forward to the season after season after season until I finally accomplish it. And even after that, I'm probably going to keep doing them because I love doing the video collaborations. And clearly, you guys love it when I do these video collaborations. Again, I want to thank Norbcam, Gangrene David, Cold Steel, Steel Twins, BG Fan All Day, Minnesota Vikings Man 28, Samoan Raiders, Spotlight Raiders Talk, Sauce Sports, J-Tuck 151, Jazzy TV, Engraven Vids, who else? Trying to think of all the people I've done video collaborations with. I've done so many. Bring the Juice Colts podcast, UCF Jaguar, Titan Upload. I know we were going to do a video collaboration, and we will definitely still do that down the line because I was looking forward to it. But unfortunately, my jaw surgery got in the way. Boston Sports Report. I almost forgot you. Thank you to everyone who who has either come on this channel to be a guest on one of my video collaborations or has allowed me to be a guest on your channel. Philly 500, LA Original, even though he subsequently deleted that video. I have no idea why. But so many people. thank you for helping me be on the precipice of reaching 500 subscribers. And I don't want to stop at 500, as I said. I want to keep going. Again, I apologize for not delivering on the video collaborations the past 3 weeks. Like I said, for the Ravens game and the Raiders game, I was dealing with the global virus that is going around. You probably know which one I'm talking about. So I wasn't really up to doing video collaborations. And then things just didn't work out for the Packers. I tried talking to some people and it just never worked out, never actually materialized. But again, I tried. And hey, this week I'm going to be working with Cold Steel because it's Brown Steelers. I'll be over on his channel. So that'll be a lot of fun. I get to face Steelers fans. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully they don't destroy me too badly. Anyway, so I want to keep going with this video though. I know I've hit an hour and a half, and that's kind of crazy to me that right now I'm at an hour and a half. Yeah, I'm at an hour and a half, right? Hour and a half on this video, but I'm still going strong. It looks like the chat is still going strong. Let's see. We've got some viewers in the stream right now, so let's keep going. We talked Browns. We talked a little bit of general NFL stuff. We talked about the Cleveland Cavaliers. We talked about the general NBA stuff. And I'll get to a little bit of WWE and AEW in a minute because I do follow that stuff. AEW more than WWE, but that's for a few minutes. First, and we're not going to talk about the NHL or hockey at all on this video because no, it doesn't seem like people really are interested in that type of stuff unless you have a hockey specific YouTube channel, which I don't. So I'm not going to talk about that. But let's talk about the college football playoff because that is happening on, what is it, Friday? Let me look super quick. I believe that the two games are on Friday. By the way, it is now 64-53. Cavaliers are leading the Pelicans. Wait a minute. How is it 64-53? Something's up with ESPN. Let me check the official Cavaliers app on my little computer here. Nope, it is 64-53. Okay. Oh, I think at halftime it was 58-48. Yeah, it was 58-48 at halftime. So never mind. I'm wrong. Excuse me. I'm wrong about that. Yes, it is 64-53. Okay. My mistake. But oh yeah, I was looking up when Cincinnati plays Alabama and when Georgia plays Michigan. Let's see here. Yep, Georgia, Michigan is Friday, December 31st. And then you got Cincinnati, Alabama. So right now, according to the ESPN app right here, I don't know how well you can see that, but Alabama is currently a 13.5-point favorite against Cincinnati. And then Georgia is a 7.5-point favorite against Michigan. I don't want to see Alabama, Georgia again. I just don't. We saw it in this year's SEC championship game. We saw it in the national championship game a couple of years ago. They played each other a couple other times in the SEC championship game. I don't want to see that game again. I don't. I like parity. I like to see new matchups. Like when the Cavaliers and Warriors played 4 consecutive times in the NBA Finals, I didn't like that. By round 3, I'm like, okay, I'm excited about it, but at the same time, I don't want to see this matchup again. I want to see a new team. I want to see new teams. Like, I was so disappointed when the Houston Rockets, excuse me, lost in the Western Conference Finals against the Warriors, number one, because that meant the Cavs had to play Kevin Durant in the finals for a second consecutive year, and I was not happy with Kevin Durant for when he left Oklahoma City to join the Golden State Warriors. I was so mad at him about that. Since then, with him moving to Brooklyn, my animosity for him has dropped a little bit, but still, my overall point still stands. I don't want to see Georgia and Alabama in the national championship game this year. I don't. If one of them gets into the national championship, I'm fine with that, but not both. If I could somehow pick the national championship, I would have it be Cincinnati against Michigan, because Michigan was not ranked to start the season. Cincinnati, I believe, was number 8 in the polls. So that would be like 2 underdogs playing for the national championship. And it wouldn't be the usual suspects, because Georgia has been one of the usual teams in the playoff kind of recently. Yeah, this is only their second time, but still, they've been in the mix. And we know Alabama has pretty much been in the college football playoff every year. So I would love if Alabama were to play Michigan, I wouldn't love that matchup because, again, Alabama's in it. But at the same time, it's a fresh new matchup. If Cincinnati were to somehow play Georgia in the national championship, I would enjoy that because it's a fresh new matchup that we have not seen. I wish I could say Georgia, Alabama is not allowed to happen, and wiggly biggly, kabibbly boo, Georgia, Alabama will not happen. Kapow! What's that going to do? It's not going to have any effect on the game, on either game. But let me say this. Alabama, Cincinnati. As I said, Alabama is a 13.5-point favorite. I don't think the margin should be that big. I don't think Vegas is giving enough respect to Cincinnati. Yes, I know the Bearcats played in the American Athletic Conference. So, and who did they really play? They went into Indiana and beat the Hoosiers, but the Indiana Hoosiers didn't turn out to really be anything this year. And yeah, they beat Notre Dame, and that was impressive, but in the larger scheme of things, Notre Dame is, they're prestigious and all that, but at the same time, Notre Dame football has been middle of the road for the past 10 plus years, whatever. even when they got to the BCS championship game against Alabama, I gave them a 0% chance of knocking off the Crimson Tide. 0. Z-E-R-O. 0! Exclamation point. Yes. So anyway, Cincinnati has a good offense. I like Desmond Ridder at quarterback. I like some of their skill position players. Their defense is pretty good. And Alabama is not that. That was not the real Alabama that we saw in the SEC championship game. Because everybody was saying after that game, oh, Alabama's back. They're back to being big, bad Bama and all this and that. No. That was a mirage. That was a lie. Go back and watch their game against Florida, Texas A&M, Arkansas, LSU, Auburn. Alabama should have lost all those games. They did lose against Texas A&M, but they should have lost to Florida. They should have lost to LSU, Arkansas, Auburn. Auburn, what the hell were you doing in that final game? Now, I get it. You'll probably come at me in the comments and say, but Unger, Alabama didn't lose those games and all this and that. I don't give a flying fuck. I don't. You know why? Because that's who the real Alabama is. What you saw in those games against Florida, LSU, Arkansas, Auburn, Texas A&M, whatever order you want to put them in, I don't care. That's the real Alabama. The SEC championship game, that was not the real Alabama. No, I don't think so. I think Alabama just has Georgia's number for whatever reason. So I think Cincinnati could surprise Alabama. Am I going to be crazy enough to say Cincinnati's going to pull off the upset? No. But I think Cincinnati is going to keep this game much, much, much closer than people think. I really do. I would not be surprised if it's a 7-point game in the end. I would not. Maybe even a field goal. Again, you can call me crazy, but I don't think, as I've been pounding the table, I don't think the Alabama you saw in the SEC championship game, to me, that was not the real Alabama. The real Alabama is the team we saw against Auburn, LSU, Arkansas, Texas A&M, Florida. There you go. Now, let me get to the game that really, really has me excited. Georgia, Michigan. The only thing I'm not excited about with this game is I don't think it's going to be a very offensive, firework-heavy game. I think it's going to be a very defensive, run-the-ball type of game. Like a 20-17 type of game. But that's okay. That still has a little bit of offense. And Georgia's a good team. They, up until the SEC championship, but again, I don't think that was the real Alabama, Georgia was the number one team in the country. Although I think they were featured on College Game Day way too much because they were on College Game Day for the Clemson game. Their home game against Arkansas. Their home game against Kentucky. The SEC championship. 4 times. I think College Game Day I love watching College Game Day. Every Saturday, I try to watch it. And if not, I DVR it. But I think overall College Game Day has become a little bit too SEC heavy and SEC biased. And I think that's only going to get worse with Oklahoma and Texas joining the SEC, which Texas, what the fuck were you doing? Seriously, what the fuck? You're going to get smashed in the SEC by LSU, Alabama, Texas A&M, Georgia, Florida, if they can get their act together. The only teams you might be able to beat in the SEC, Texas, are Missouri and Vanderbilt. That's it. Maybe South Carolina. Maybe. But you're not being, and maybe Tennessee. But I don't think you're beating Kentucky. I don't think you can beat Ole Miss. I don't think you can beat Arkansas. I don't think, you're certainly not going to beat Alabama. Not Georgia. I don't think you can beat Florida. Overall, I think it was a bad move for Texas to move to the SEC. Oklahoma may have a bit of a chance. We'll see. But overall, Michigan, Georgia is going to be a fantastic game. My sister and I thought about going to that game. But much like how I was saying earlier, I think I'm a bad omen for the Monsters, since the Monsters are 0-3 when I've been in attendance. Michigan is 0-2 when my sister and I go to one of their games. No, they're 1-2. I'm sorry. Because they won their one home game against Indiana while she was at Michigan. But when she and I went to the Orange Bowl to see the Wolverines play the Florida State Seminoles, Florida State won. And then we went to the 2018 Michigan-Ohio State game in Columbus. College Game Day was there, which I got to hold up a sign and be part of College Game Day. So that's an item checked off my bucket list. But overall, Michigan got destroyed. So my sister thinks she's a bad omen for Michigan, so she's not going to go. But I think Michigan is going to win this game against Georgia. Excuse me. I like Cade McNamara. I like Hassan Haskins. I like some of their other I like some of Michigan's other weapons offensively. Aiden Hutchinson was a Heisman finalist. Of course, they gave it to Bryce Young, an Alabama player, more specifically a quarterback. I hate that. I hate that the Heisman Trophy usually goes to a quarterback, except for Devontae Smith. I believe Derrick Henry won the Heisman Trophy, and Mark Ingram won the Heisman Trophy. But except for those three, I believe all the recent winners have been quarterbacks. Same with Super Bowl MVP and just general MVP. I think it's so stupid that it always goes to a quarterback. Why can't any of the skill position players or defensive players get any love? Why not? So I think the NFL is a little bit biased towards quarterbacks. I think football in general is biased towards quarterbacks, and I hate it. But I think the title game is going to be Alabama against Michigan, and at the end of the night, you will be hearing this fight song. Hail to the victors, valiant, hail to the conquering heroes, hail, hail the Michigan, the leaders and best, let's go blue. Hail to the victors, valiant, hail to the conquering heroes, hail, hail the Michigan, the champions of the West, go blue. That's right, I am picking Michigan to win it all this year. Maybe I'm doing that because Brian Fraley, who you will see on So What's the Catch tomorrow, not sure if that's going to be on the So What's the Catch YouTube channel or if that'll be here. Well, you'll find out. I got to discuss that with James, who honestly looks like a freaking Mario brother. Brian, Kramer, Chirk, and Zach. So if it's on here, you will see that. If it's not, I will somehow share a feed to the video so that you guys can still watch. Go subscribe to the So What's the Catch YouTube channel. We are trying to grow that channel. And go subscribe to the Sports Generals I will actually put a link to the Sports General's YouTube channel in the live chat right now, even though there is currently nobody watching, so I might wrap up this video soon. Ooh, cool. Sports Generals has 6 subscribers. So that's it for the college football talk. Now let's get to WWE and AEW. Because I'm going to finish that off, use that to finish off this video. WWE is dead to me. It is. They have no interesting story other than the Roman Reigns storyline and I guess the WWE Championship feud happening. They have nothing. Absolutely nothing. They're not really pushing any of their main guys. I pretty much stopped watching Monday Night Raw. I occasionally watch Friday Night SmackDown, but more often than not now, I find out what happened on Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown by watching Simon Miller's ups and downs videos at What Culture Wrestling's YouTube channel. That's it. I pretty much fully converted to AEW. I love watching AEW. MJF he's the best. In my opinion, MJF is the wrestler of the year. Bar none. He is number 1. His promos are amazing. You got to go watch his promo battle with CM Punk. It was legendary. And his matches have been great. I loved his match with Darby Allin at Full Gear. I'm gonna watch a replay of it. That's how good it was. Let's see. Who did he fight at? His feud with Chris Jericho was fantastic. Oh, that match at All Out. That was one of the best matches of the pay-per-view. It might have been my favorite match of the pay-per-view. I'd have to go back and rewatch that pay-per-view, actually. But, MJF is great. Hangman Adam Page, I don't love him as champion. I liked Kenny Omega better. Probably because I'm more of a heel fan. That's my name on Discord in wrestling servers. I've always been more of a heels fan. So I like Kenny Omega. I like MJF. I like Adam Cole. The Young Bucks are great. I love that AEW added Kyle O'Reilly. I think that just made the storyline with Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, that just adds so much to this storyline that AEW is developing with Adam Cole and Orange Cassidy, and now they have the 2 factions seem to be feuding. So that's great. The MJF CM Punk feud is great. I'm a little bit confused about what they're doing with Darby Allin at the moment. He seems to be a little bit lost, which I don't like. There are a couple other AEW superstars that seem to be a little bit lost, and I want them to have a sense of direction, like Brian Cage. I love him, but haven't seen him in a while. So what happened? Where are you? Are you going to come back? Are you going to do something? Yeah. So I think we're just about to wrap things up, but I appreciate you watching this live stream. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy this live stream, punch that like button like a UFC fighter and punch that subscribe button. Like I said, we are only 66 subscribers away from 500. which is absolutely amazing. So, yeah, we're going to wrap things up. So thanks for tuning in, everybody, and I will see you most likely tomorrow.